What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. So we're going to focus in on the Stephen Weiss problem in Detroit, or the problem that is Stephen Weiss with the Detroit Red Wings. Obviously, longtime Florida Panther, signed a big deal with the Wings last summer. Played a total of 26 games for Detroit last season, and then this year he's played one game, and then he was in the minors for a game too. They sent him down a condition assignment, and isn't living up to the contract. Hasn't been healthy, really, since the 2012 playoffs. Remember when the Panthers took the eventual Eastern Conference champion New Jersey Devils to 7 games in that thrilling series? Yeah, that was the last time, Weiss was really consistently healthy and was able to be a point producer, that we expect him to be, like he was, throughout his heyday in Florida. When we signed with Detroit, it was getting out of a situation in Florida that it kind of, things really spiraled out of control down there. They had looked like they had light at the end of the tunnel, and then they're right back to doing Florida Panthers things. That's just the way that franchise works, Looked good for a while, and then it's up right back to being absolutely abysmal. I think, honestly, the fit wasn't there with Weiss. I thought at the time it was a good fit, but I think just from the get-go, the parts didn't kind of fall into place. And then the other thing was the injuries, and that's not his fault. That's not anyone's fault. It just happens. And playing 27 games over 2 seasons after signing a contract that'll pay him almost $5 million a year, isn't the best look for him. But I think the end of his time in Detroit is inevitable. I think we'll either waive him or trade him if someone wants him. Somebody asked on Twitter, they asked George Richards, one of the Panthers viewers, I believe it was Richards, might have been one of the color comments, I forget who it was, but would the Panthers look into him? And they said the interest probably wouldn't be there mutually. The other thing that pisses me off with the Panthers, if they were to trade for Weiss, is why didn't they go and try to re-sign him 2 years ago? And the other thing is the Panthers play that we're a small market team. Poverty this, poverty that. They signed Willie Mitchell to that stupid $9 million contract. The David Bolin contract is the worst contract in hockey, and they traded for Luongo's contract. I know Luongo's is a little bit different. Vancouver's picking up part of it. You need a #1 goalie. He loves South Florida. Okay, that's great, but don't play that we're poor and then overpay for mediocrity. It's stupid, and I think it'll be the same thing here with Weiss. I mean, I'm not calling him a mediocre player, but unless Detroit picks up some of that deal, it'd be foolish for Florida to do that. And the epitome of hypocrisy, but that seems to be that organization's MO every single year. If you're going to trade for, or sign these guys to stupid deals like Boland or, Luongo's deal, why don't you try to sign like really, really good players like, Zach Parise a couple years ago or Thomas Vanek this past summer? I mean, when you do it like that, but obviously that's too much to ask for the Florida Panthers organization. But I mean, hey, what do I know? Bottom line is, feel bad for Weiss, feel bad for the Red Wings. I think they both wanted to make it work, but he's, and the other thing was when he was hurt last year, guys like Thomas Tatar, Gustav Nyquist, and, Thomas Yurko, guys like that jumped over him on the depth chart in Detroit. There are all these young forwards that are really good that aren't relinquishing those NHL spots anytime soon, so, you get young guys that are cheaper and are being more productive, quite frankly. And Weiss is banged up, got a big contract, and hasn't lived up to that contract. So I think the writing's on the wall, and I don't think Stephen Weiss will make the end of the season in Detroit Red Wings uniform. Anyway, that's why this episode of the Power. Actually, players that leave longtime, Sun Belt teams and then go to Detroit and wear the number 90 don't really work out too well. Look at Mike McDonald's when you're in Detroit. Just FYI. Anyway, that's like this episode of the Power Play with CJ on the Stephen Weiss fiasco in Detroit. Stay tuned for episode for the season and beyond. Later, guys.